Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Barb Cook, and I'm the creator of the Piece of Cake Expense and Revenue Tracking Tools. Today, I'm going to show you how the tool works for travel professionals. Without further ado, let's get started. So, I have a very simple system that I follow for my business. I have a shoebox, summary sheets, the piece of cake tool, as well as a expanding file folder that I use to store my receipts at the end of the month. So at the end of each day or every few days, I throw my receipts in a shoebox, and then I attach a summary sheet, which I'm going to show you, and then I enter the data monthly. So the expense sheet, the summary sheet looks something like this. It would be, you can customize it for yourself. And what I do is I fill this out for each invoice that I have received. So the date, the vendor, the purpose, etc., and the category, people I entertain. And I attach one of these to each expense or invoice that I receive. I do this because I need to keep accurate records, and also if Revenue Canada comes back, I can pull out an expense at any given time and show exactly what the expense was for, and if I entertain anybody and any other details that I want to apply. It's really important to keep accurate records. So I attach one of these to each invoice, then I do my data entry into the Piece of Cake tool. I make a backup of my software, I make a backup of my worksheet, and then I file those in my expanding file folder, and I'm done for the month. And usually that takes me no more than a half an hour. So when you open the tool for each time you use it, you're going to come to a splash screen. It's just going to show you the terms of use. When you buy the tool, I will send you a copy of the terms, and they may change from time to time, and they're also visible on my website, as indicated down here. When you enter the tool, you're going to be taken to the instruction sheet. The important thing to note here is that this tool does not replace an accountant. What this tool does is three main things for you. The first one is it keeps track of your expense and revenue on a monthly, quarterly, and annual basis, so you can tell, what your best months are and when you're making money and maybe when you're not. The second thing is it will track whether or not you're making money on specific events. So if you go to a trade show, it'll tell you, did I make money on that trade show at the end of the day? And the third thing is it's also going to tell you what your average revenue is per booking. And that's a valuable thing for a travel professional to have. So there's three sheets where you do data entry. The data entry expenses, the mileage, and the data entry revenue. So data entry expenses, any sheet where there's data entry, anything that's in blue, you can change. So if your household percentage can be 15% because your accountant said it could be, you could enter 15%. Anything you enter in an expense, always enter it at 100%. So even though your household percentage is 15%, make sure you enter the whole cost for that expense. Event-specific information is entered up here. So if you did a bridal show and a kitchen or home show, for example, you would enter them here because they're blue. They'll show up again on the data entry revenue sheet, but you can only make changes here. Any event that you enter, you can't enter category household or vehicle. You have to enter those as general. So you leave this event-specific section empty. So when you have an expense that's applicable to a specific event, you put in the event-specific number. So here would be I said home show, but it's actually the bridal show. So this should be the bridal show. Oops. So because it's blue, I can make that change. Okay, so if I were going to go and enter an expense, I would put in the date, the amount. Let's say I went out for lunch, I went out for dinner. Again, Symposium seems to be my favorite. And I took Mrs. Smith. She's one of my best clients. And we're talking about her upcoming trip. So I don't know if you noticed over here when we're entering data, things would pop up in red. So you're forced to enter a category, otherwise your information is going to show up incorrectly on your expense sheet. So if I take away the category, we'll see category missing. So I'll put that back. Likewise, if I don't have an amount, if I don't have a date, you're going to see errors show up over here. So if you see red up here, all you need to do is look down this column and you'll see what you're missing. So we're going to go back and put that in as 100. So that's all you would do for your expense sheet. Again, you enter 100% of all your expenses. That includes household and vehicle. And speaking of vehicle, your mileage, in order to deduct your expenses for your mileage, you need to, or your vehicle, you need to track your mileage. So the way you do that in this tool is you enter your odometer reading on the first day of the year and your odometer reading on the last day of the year, and then you enter your kilometers For simplicity, I just entered 500 for one day, put in the details. Again, according to Revenue Canada, you need to keep accurate records of your vehicle expenses as well as the kilometers driven. You need to indicate where you went and why you went. So that's how this tool will help you do that. So 10% of vehicle expenses will be calculated in this example. So if you look over here, the data entry for the repair for the car was $1,000, and it's really only 10% that I can deduct. So it shows up as 10% at $100 in March for the vehicle expense. And the last page you would do data entry is the data entry revenue. So this is where, like I said before, you enter your event-specific information once, and it shows up here, but it's black, so you can't make any changes. So here again, anything in blue you would enter, the date, invoice number, the booking, event-specific, pre-tax revenue. If there's a fee, you could enter it. If it's an alternate currency, you enter it here instead of in your pre-tax revenue. And then your anything in black again is calculated. You enter either a commission percent or an actual commission. You can't enter both. If you enter both, you're going to see an error again with the red. You'll see it over here. It'll say not only does your received commission not match, but it's going to say that you can enter only the commission percent or the actual commission. So I'll take that away, and I'll show you that it's correct. And let's say, for example, you have an amazing customer that gives you lots of referrals. So it's not event specific, but it can be client specific. We can go back to the data entry page and we can say that Mrs. Smith, we want to track how much revenue she's generating for us. So she's not generating any expenses, although maybe this dinner, and we could say that was a dinner expense. We could put in number 3 for that. So she cost us because we took her out for dinner there. But we could also say she's an event-specific person that she recommended all the people from the YMCA. So she actually generated all of this revenue for me, $9,800. And you'll see on your results by event that Mrs. Smith, actually, your net gain loss for Mrs. Smith was her revenue was $9,687, which is pretty significant. So that's how you would do your data entry revenue. Also, let's say on this booking, it wasn't $9,800. The company decided to give you a bit of a bonus, and they made it $11,000, let's say, instead. So the Canadian Commission won't calculate because you have 2 of them in there. So we get rid of our percentage, and it calculates to $11,000. And we also need to update the received into $11,000. So anytime you need to actually enter what you received. And let's say you haven't received commission yet and you don't want to really report it, you can leave it blank, and it's going to show you that the receipt does not match the commission amount. And any of your results pages is going to tell you that some of the information is missing. So you see that the commission earned here was $480 in June, but it actually wasn't received yet. So you're just going to see that in red. So after you've done all your data entry, you'll see your summary of expenses here. This is the page that your accountant is going to be the most interested in. You'll see your summary of revenue. It'll be the commission earned versus received. You'll see your results overall. So what was looks like January wasn't the best month for you, but your first quarter was really good. You ended up with a net gain of $11,118.13. But again, it's showing you that you haven't received money for one of those. It's going to show up here. And like I said, this is your results by event. So the broad will show you you ended up making money on after all the commissions, but Kitchener-Home show you didn't. You actually lost money. So that's how that would work, because once you enter the information in the expenses and revenue, it'll calculate for you automatically. And the last thing that you'll see here is the average commission per booking. In this example, you're making a lot per booking, so good work. So that's pretty much it. That's my tool in a nutshell. Again, I'm Barb Cook, and I've created the Piece of Cake expense and revenue tracking tools, and this demo has been for travel professionals specifically. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me at cook.barb@gmail.com. And if you're interested, I can always send you a trial version so you can test it out and see what you think. Thanks for your time, and I hope you have a really great day.